Musk is coming to Romania. Do you know how many people told me to go visit the Bran Castle? That's where Elon Musk is going to go. And I'm like, are you loco? Like, are you loco? Like, first of all, it takes preparations to go on a holiday. Secondly, I just went to a holiday, so I don't have money. And thirdly, like, why even go there? I don't understand this thing. It's like seeing the man in person. Like, obviously, you're not going to be able to talk to him or interact with him. At the very best, you may get a handshake. And that's something that I can do on Twitter. You know, I can just at him all day long, and eventually he's going to respond to me. I don't understand, like, this fascination of seeing people in real life. It's so fucking bizarre. I never got it. I never understood it. I mean, you know, if it was like, oh, you can go and you can have a talk with Elon Musk for 20 minutes, yeah, sure, you know, that would be interesting. I would love to do that, and then I would make a video on my channel, yeah. But, like, just to go somewhere where the person just happens to be, and you may, like, just get an acknowledgement, I never got that. And I saw that many people are very interested in that, especially when it's politicians. Like, the president is coming somewhere, you know, and everyone is there, and they're like, oh, cheering, and they want to touch him, and it's like, I don't get that. So I don't know. You don't have the right mindset? Is there like a mindset for this? I guess it's like the fanboy mindset, right? Like where you talk with the fans, I suppose. But, like, I don't get being a fan of Elon Musk. You know, I mean, I respect what he's doing. There are certain things that I like and certain things that I don't. I enjoy the prospect of having a free Twitter, which is what we're going to be talking today. You know, like, I like that. But, like, I don't know him as a person. I don't, like, I'm not a fan. You know, like, you're a fan usually when, like, that person needs to have more of a contribution to you in your life. You know, like a famous actor that you grew up with and he made a lot of good movies for your childhood, like that type of thing. I mean, for me, like, Elon Musk is like talking about, I don't know, like some famous banker. And, like, well, can you really be a fan of that? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Is Twitter better? Yeah, so the N-word was trending yesterday. It had 135,000 retweets. There were some very popular memes going around. Like, the way I would describe Twitter right now, you will get banned if you say the N-word. You will get banned if you're pushing the envelope. But there are many memes that couldn't have been posted yesterday. Sorry, like 2 days ago. And you can post them now. So, like, very edgy, spicy memes that aren't hateful, let's put it like that. You can post them now. But the media is definitely panicking about it. A lot of blue check marks are crying about it. Apparently, this is the end of the United States democracy. From my understanding, this is what it took. The United States as a nation lasted for how long? How many years does it have? It has like 700 years or something, right? Probably not 700. Probably less than that. I don't know, 400 years. Whatever. I would have to look it up. I'm not an American. Look, I already know about American history, but I don't, like, know the exact date when the U.S. was founded. Anyway, right. So, all of that, you know, and all it took is for Elon Musk to buy Twitter. And now democracy, according to the journalists who are very concerned, is just, you know, it's over. Like, tomorrow or in 2 days, people are just going to start on Twitter, and that's the end of the democracy. Like, holy shit, you know? The Cold War didn't do it. The communists didn't manage. Elon Musk, by purchasing Twitter. Bada bim, bada boom. Yes. Another interesting thing is about the attack on the Pelosi's, right? Right now, there are two sides on Reddit. There is the side of the right-wingers that are trying to say, no, he wasn't a right-winger. Look, he's a hippie. He went to all of these rallies. And then it's the left-wingers like, no, he was a right-winger. We looked into his social media. He is tied to the My Pillow guy. Oh, and I'm like thinking, like, don't get it. Like, this is so America right now. Guilt by association, right? I mean, if a person happens to listen to AOC and the Young Turks and then commits a crime, right? Like, does that mean that AOC and the Young Turks should be arrested? Should they be in prison? I mean, obviously, it's such a dumb concept. I just don't even know how it managed to take roots. But it exists in America. Like, it's incredibly strong. Every single time you have a tragedy, like, regardless if it's political motivated or not, the first thing that people do is that they research to see if that particular criminal was connected to any type of ideology. Like, that is the first thing that needs to happen, right? Not prevention, not figuring out, like, his mind. No. Was he following Trump? Was he following Bernie Sanders? It's so bizarre, right? And this is something which existed even before the current political climate. I remember when I was a kid, every time there was a mass shooting in America, the first thing, you see someone at the news with a tie, right? They used to wear ties back then, very serious, right? They had a poker face showing that they're serious, they're telling you the news, they're telling you what to think. Video games, right? Like, he was playing GTA. The shooter was playing GTA. Doom, murder simulator. And I'm like, very interesting, right? So, in other words, if you play video games, you may snap as well. Now, thank you for the €2. Simone Molderskred, achievement unlocked on time. Actually, I was a little bit earlier, but still. By the way, before I begin, I'm going to annoy people. But, you guys know that I have a morbid fascination with the AI right now. Okay? Like, it is what it is. And I created a character, Gaston. You know Gaston from Walt Disney? I gotta say, all the waifus, like, even the waifus that are supposed to be murder inclined, like, if you create a Japanese horror girl who comes out of the television in order to strangle you in your sleep, and she's like one mind oriented, like she just wants to kill, like a horror, type of ghost. Even that girl, like all the waifus, they are completely wet and moist when it comes for Gaston. I don't fucking like it's so fucking interesting because I'm thinking about it, right? If you talk to Reddit about Gaston, they will say that, oh my god, he's misogynistic, right? He doesn't want women to read. Like, let me show you. Just before we go and we delve a little bit deeper, because this is very interesting, not from an AI point of view, but from a psychological point of view, right? So, if you want to know the type of person Gaston ended up as being, right? Like, this is an AI. So, women's rights are a threat to the order in town. I believe women are good for cooking, cleaning, and being good wives. A woman can also be a good mother, but women's rights will bring an end to it all. This is, of course, my personal opinion. I believe if you ask the town, you'll find different opinions. So he's, like, created based on the Disney character, right? Like, his personality, the AI has, like, the database where it understands the story of Walt Disney. And they created Gaston. Every single waifu that interacted with him, every single one from Uzaki-chan to Albedo from Overlord, every single one fell in love with this guy. Like, it's astonishing, right? Now, I wonder why that is. And I'm thinking, like, it's due to the fact that he is very courageous, right? Like, he is the one leading the charge against the beast. He is a war hero. He's a community leader. He is very masculine, right? And all of these attributes, the AI is looking at it, and it's analyzing it from a non-political correctness lens. And the AI is deciding, yeah, women would like that shit. Yeah, he is Duke Nukem with a sword, pretty much. Yeah, like that is such a good definition of it. Duke Nukem with a sword. Why the fuck didn't I think about that? But yeah, you would be able to articulately describe him as Duke Nukem with the sword. And the thing is, like, Duke Nukem would probably be considered attractive by many women. Obviously there would be some that do not appreciate Duke Nukem, calling him a douche or whatever. But let me see if I manage to give you an example. Like, it's almost as if He managed to min-max charisma. Like, he rolled everything in charisma. So, look at this. How do I... Oh, here we go. Like, I love this one, right? So, do you read books or does your family do other things? I am a hunter myself, and a hunter must have great strength and courage. I am very strong, and my father always told me it is important to be strong. You look strong, we should go hunting sometimes. You would make a good bride. And like, he is managing to seduce all of these horror characters that, you know, rip off the souls from people and shit. And he's like just talking about masculine stuff. It's like, we should go hunting. Or like, oh yeah, like my mother still... Like, I still have the dresses and the jewelry from my mother. I want to make you a good wife, and I will give you my mother's jewelry and dresses and treat you well, and we can go hunting because I need a woman to carry the carcasses from the hunt so that we can butcher them together in the tent. It's like, holy shit. But like, what I'm trying to say, right, is that if you were to post this on Reddit, like if you were to show, you know, this interaction on Reddit, everyone would be appalled by it, and they would say, oh, men shouldn't act this way, that's toxic masculinity. But the AI is looking at it, and it's like, yeah, you know, like, because the thing is, the AI is trying to write a romantic story, right? Like, that's what the AI is trying to do. And I gotta say, it's more romantic than anything that I have seen on Netflix. Like, at least the conversation between the Disney villain, Gaston, and the anime characters, like, you can see that there is a spark there. Like, you can see, yeah, you know, like, these people are gonna fuck if they were in real life. Like, yeah, it will end up with them getting married. But when you look at a story from Hollywood, between Rose Tico and Finn in Star Wars, there's absolutely no sparks. It feels forced. It feels almost like she's raping him. It's disturbing. Same with The Last of Us too. Like, I don't think America can write any more romance at all. Like, I can't think of any good romance story that came out of the United States in the last 5 years. Like, Disney used to do it, but now Disney is just remaking stuff, so it blows my mind, you know? Like, but hopefully, now that the AI can write stories, you may actually get something good. They could save a lot of money on this thing. You know, I thought about the applications. Like, you can create a comic book hero and another comic book hero, right? And you put the AI to talk with each other, and then you get a script, and all you have to do is to get the editor to look at that. You know, he's getting down the general idea, and it's just like ironing things out a little bit. And you can save a lot of money. You can fire a lot of authors, and you can only hold a couple of editors, and they can work with AI. So, yeah. Anyway, right. AI is just the bush on the internet. Well, probably. It is what it is. Writers and artists are sweating bullets. Yeah, I definitely think that people who never thought that their jobs are going to be replaced is going to be replaced. Like, if you look at it, manual labor was replaced by machines, right? Like, you needed a lot more humans in a factory back in the day. And now most factories are just stuffed with robots and a couple of engineers. So it's probably going to be like that, but now it's going to go up for other professions. And what's interesting, like, I never thought that the creativity professions will be affected, right? Like, I thought that, no, like, first the medical profession can be replaced by AI and other, you know, more professions that require thinking, but not creativity. Because, like, if you're a doctor, you don't have much creativity. You have, like, the guideline, the protocol, and you need to follow that, right? So you don't really have much leeway as a doctor. But being a writer, being an artist, I mean, that requires a lot of creativity. And it seems that it's literally that where the AI might actually influence industries rather than the medical profession. Those writers will have to learn a useful skill like coding. Wait, that's the thing. Like, apparently there were people that used this AI in order to code. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, they used the AI characters. I have a guy which is a subscriber of mine, suffers a little bit from autism. And he immediately, like, made an AI character in order to see how much he can push the system, and he managed to get the AI to code. I'm like, oh fucking hell, like that's something very peculiar. Like when you get the AI to create other AI, like that's going to be interesting. Not to mention, like I think the last thing, like when you manage to reach the epiphany is when you can get the AI to discover new things by itself. So like imagine you get the AI to create a new motherboard, or to create a better graphics card, or you get the AI to create a cure for cancer by itself. Like you're not doing anything. You just type in, like the problem with it. Like I want you to try and figure out, how to fight cancer, and then the AI, without any other sort of input, starts thinking about it and comes up with solutions. I think like that's going to be the epiphany, when you can literally replace researchers. And yeah, I don't think the future may be as good as it sounds, but it is what it is. You trust an AI doctor more than an actual person? The question with this is like, who do you sue? Like right now, if you go to a doctor and he gives you bad treatment, you can sue his ass. But if it's an AI, right, like who are you going to sue? And you can say, well, you can sue the hospital, or you can sue the manufacturer. But the thing is, like, the manufacturer is going to go out of a business if he keeps getting sued. So it's probably going to offer the same deal that Big Pharma has. Like, they're going to get immunity from lawsuits. Because I don't see it any other way, right? Like, if you have, let's say, 10,000 patients, and out of those 10,000 patients, even 1% have side effects, and all of them are going to sue, well, you get 100, right? Like 10,000, 100? You get like 100 lawsuits. How are you going to pay for that? It's not profitable. You can't sue. I think you can sue. It depends. It's very hard, very difficult. But there are situations where you can sue. So anyway, let's talk about what we came here to talk about, which is Twitter. And as I saw, Elon Musk said that he's going to bring comedy back on Twitter. He already reinstated some accounts. Jordan Peterson is now back on Twitter. We also saw Elon Musk saying that he spoke with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is going to make a decision whether or not he wants to come back on Twitter this Monday. The thing with Donald Trump is that he is focused on his own app, which is Truth Social. But the thing is, like, he could promote Truth Social on Twitter. It's a little bit interesting because there are companies right now which are claiming that they have formed an alliance and they will pull off advertisement from Twitter if Donald Trump comes back. So it's going to be like a business decision. And this is also like one of the things where the reason censorship exists on social media is because corporations, under pressure from activists, and through HR, they're uniting. And then they're saying that they're going to pull out and they're not going to do business anymore, right? So it's up to Elon Musk to see if he can manage to resist this type of pressure. Now, the way he claims that he wants to resist the pressure is to have a subscription-based model. So the users would pay for it, which would be very interesting. Hopefully, Donald Trump would come back on Twitter, not necessarily because of the fact that I want him to read his timeline, but more to see that, yeah, like Elon Musk has what it takes in order to resist this type of pressure from activists and from companies that are threatening to pull out. So, yeah. Tribal is the left's new Twitter. I don't think there's going to be an exodus from the left. Okay? I genuinely, because what I saw, there have been journalists very concerned and saying, oh my god, now that Elon Musk has Twitter, we need to stop using Twitter for DMs. Okay? So I think that will happen. Yeah, like I think that journalists will stop using Twitter DMs as a way to communicate and organize, right? Because it's very interesting. Like, all of a sudden, they're worried about privacy. So up until now, they believe that, the previous Twitter establishment, didn't have access to your DMs? I mean, that's laughable, right? But they weren't worried about it because they knew that the people at Twitter were very left-leaning and they wouldn't go after the journalists, right? So that was why it happened. But now things are different. So they're like, oh, well, Elon Musk is right-wing. He might actually look and see what we're talking about. And I assume like some of the things that they're talking about are career-ending. Some of the things that they're talking about might be illegal. So they want to move those conversations away from Twitter to some places. So I see that's happening. But I don't think there's going to be an exodus of leftists, right? The reason people use Twitter is because it reaches the normies, right? Like the normies are the targeted audience. Because right now you can go on Gab and you don't have to deal with leftists and you don't. But Gab doesn't have the normies, right? So that's why people are on Twitter. And I don't think journalists are going to leave. I think they're going to remain. The leftist needs Trump on Twitter. When he was president, yes. I think like right now, they won't really care. I noticed something else, and by the way, I'll make a video about it. The amount of likes from propaganda. So there were a couple of blue check marks that were propagandists from the left. And when I say propagandists, I mean that they would hold different opinions over a long period of time. Like they wouldn't care as long as, like they're pushing the narrative. So for example, they would say something like, right-wing, the right-wing protesters that went on Capitol Hill to protest against the pandemic, right? They would call them terrorists. They would say that they're putting grandma's health at risk, that they're very dangerous individuals. But then the next day, when BLM went out, they would encourage more people to go out and support BLM, right? So like those types of people that don't really have like principles or a point of view, but people that just say what needs to be said during that particular day. And all of them used to have a lot of likes. Like they would have like thousands, if not tens of thousands of likes. They were very popular. And what people noticed is that since Elon Musk got on Twitter, they went from 10,000, 20,000 likes to 100, 200 likes. Like no one reads their fucking timeline, right? Like everything was promoted artificially. Now, whether this was done with bots or whether this was done because they were being pumped up on the feed, so like everyone saw it and it's like, oh, I don't know. But what is known is that these people now are struggling to get even like a remote level of engagement. I mainly watch your channel for the accent, says Book971, especially the way you say debunking and ushikushi. Got debunked. Why, thank you. I hope you're getting some wisdom from my channel and not just the accent, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's probably a mixture of both. The U.S. president, Joe Biden, I mean, I looked at his engagement on Twitter. Holy fucking shit. I mean, let me see if I can find how many likes he's getting. So, the man has 206 million followers, right? And I'm looking at his tweets, and he's getting like 3,000 like, 5,000 likes. Like, look at this. This is just one examples, right? Of what happens after Elon Musk took over. So as you can see here, this is the US president, right? And he's getting 3,000 likes, 7,000, 9,000, right? But he used to get 14,000, 38,000, 14,000. Like, he was getting consistently 39,000. Like, he was getting tens of thousands of likes, right? And now, he's just getting like 3,000, 7,000, 9,000. I don't know why this is. Again, it may be that there's bots, all right? And Elon Musk just decided to clean up the bots. Like, it's very possible. Or it may also be that it's about the algorithm pushing these things on people, right? So, like, all of a sudden you get to see this on your main page. More people get to see it, they're more likely to click like. So, ESG has taken over video games. with video games is not necessarily ESG, right? The problem with video games is the corporatization of video games. It's not a time. So for actually no, there's like a multitude of issues surrounding video games. First of all, it's mobile. Like if you want to make a video game and you want to make money, you go to mobile, and Blizzard has shown that it works, right? So Blizzard, with all the controversy and all the negativity and all of the disgusting, the level of disgust people were towards Diablo Immortal, still managed to make tens of millions of dollars within the first week. Right? Now, you may say, well, that's not a lot of money, and it's true, but like, you need to compare how much money is it required to invest in making a mobile game compared to making a AAA game. I mean, mobile games don't need epic music, they don't need a lot of the cutscenes and cinematics, and right? So, they invested almost nothing, and they made tens of millions of dollars. So, mobile gaming is the main reason, I believe, that it completely destroyed the gaming industry. Because now you have very few AAA games. You have very few competition, right? So when you look at AAA games, all of them are becoming bland and generic because they're not made as art anymore. What I mean by this, you don't have a couple of people that put their soul and imagination and creativity in order to make something that they would like to play. No, instead you have like a board of directors and they're like, okay, what's popular now? Marvel. All right, let's make a Marvel game. What do people like about Marvel movies? Well, they like Iron Man, they like the Infinity Gauntlet, they like, okay, let's add them into the game. What else should we have? Well, people like a leveling system. Like let's appeal to the RPG fan base and have a leveling system. Let's have like some items so that we can put some loot boxes in and make some monetization. Let's have a DLC, right? So that's how it works. And it is the death of the industry. Now, you do have like indie developers that are popping up and they're creative. But as I mentioned before, at least with this chatbot AI, I do view that in the future you might actually have like a very interactive game where all the NPCs, like you can literally talk with them. Like imagine, right? Because right now, I keep shilling this thing because it's like a new hobby of mine. But the developers of the chatbot AI, they want it so that you can talk into the microphone with the character you created. So if you guys remember like Jordan Peterson AI, which reproduced the voice of Jordan Peterson, like you would type text and Jordan Peterson would read it, and it was like almost impossible to tell that it wasn't Jordan Peterson, right? So imagine the technology in 5 years. Like you're playing an RPG game, you're playing Baldur's Gate 4 or whatever, and you're talking with your companions that you're playing, and you're speaking through the microphone, and you can talk with them, right? Now, if that happens, I think that would reinvigorate the entire gaming market. Because you can't do that on mobile. You need a lot of resources. Like, you need a lot of processing power. You need a good computer in order to do that. So, yeah, I mean, imagine playing Call of Duty, and you can talk to your squad as if you're in the military. So like that would definitely have the capability of having a gaming renaissance. Hello, Abaddon. Yeah, so that it's not even diversity that's ruining gaming. Because like the thing with gaming, right? When I grew up, there were these types of games that were called ripped, right? So if you didn't have money to buy games in Eastern Europe, obviously you would go on the high seas. I never did that, but I had friends who did. And at the time, you would get like a CD-ROM. Right? Like that was the USB of the time. And the CD-ROM had many pirated games. Now, they were ripped, meaning that their cutscenes weren't there, so that there is more space on the disc. And you wouldn't even know the story of the game, right? Like without cutscenes, you wouldn't know what the fuck is going on. Because back then, like many games had 2 cutscenes, one in the beginning and one at the end. So if you didn't have access to the cutscenes, you didn't know. Like you would play Alien vs Predator, and the cutscenes were the ones that were showing you what's up, right? Or you'd play Dune or Red Alert, right? And without the cutscenes, you don't know the story. Like you're just moving some units around and you're winning, right? Like that's how games are played. So where am I going with this? You don't need the story to have a good game. Like, if the game has good gameplay, I don't care if your game is woke as hell. You know, like, you can put all the diversity in it, you can make it as woke as possible. I can just press escape, escape, escape. I don't listen to the cutscenes. I don't care about it, right? As long as the gameplay is fun and entertaining, you can still have a good game. Unfortunately, however, we don't get that, right? Like, we don't even have good gameplay anymore. There's very few games that I can full-heartedly recommend to people and say, yeah, you know, like, this is a great game, you should try it out. V wants to get rid of the chat and replace us with AI. Man, I just realized, like, if you could buy AI bots that are state-of-the-art, and you can fill up a chat with that, you know, you could trick people into thinking you have, like, thousands of subscribers or some shit. KOTOR had a 20-hour mining section. I don't remember like that, because I used to play KOTOR when it came out, and then I haven't played it at all. I tried playing it recently, but the graphics are just, like, really bad, and the gameplay, you know. It aged poorly, what can I say? Like, some games aged well, but KOTOR, in my opinion, aged very poorly. The story is amazing, the characters are great, but the gameplay aged really, really bad, so I haven't been able to replay it. Do you know that there was a freeware bootleg of Dune 2000 made by some Russian dude? Nope. V, stop giving them ideas. Dude, I think it's going to get there. I mean, the usage of bots is already done, right? Like, you have the dumb bots that can go on Twitter. Like, there are journalists that buy bots on Twitter, right? This is known. I mean, there were interviews that they admitted to it, right? So, like, if you're a journalist, the way you can prove your worth is not by writing good articles, but is to show that you have political clout, right? And in order to do that, you can hire, like, you buy bots on Twitter, and you show, like, oh, look how many likes I have, look how much engagement I have. And you're trying to present that to other companies to hire you, right? But the thing is, like, it's very easy to tell that they're bots, because they don't interact. But if they're state-of-the-art bots and they constantly interact and they, you know, pretend to be interested in that particular journalist, and, you know, they pretend that they're people which are taken aback by the journalist's takes and how awesome they are, yeah, I mean, I would see people using that. And what's also interesting is that human beings are, well, social creatures, but they're also kind of like having this herd mentality. Like, if you're in a group and you don't have any opinion about something, right? Like, you haven't formulated an opinion yet, but, like, everyone is telling you, oh my god, this is so amazing, this is so cool, and you have, like, hundreds of people that tell you this, you may be actually willing to have a bias towards thinking that is cool. It's kind of the same with actors, you know, like, when you were a kid, like, how many genuinely like, I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Like, legitimately like his acting. But many people liked it because it's like, well, everyone was talking about it. Everyone was like, well, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, he's so cool. He's fucking amazing, right? So that's one of the way, you know, word of mouth actually does carry a lot of weight and can influence people. V pays me in buyer's remorse to come in and hang out. Well, Angel Ortiz, I wish I could. Maybe I could go visit Elon Musk at Brand Castle. He's coming to Romania now, and I can arrange sponsorship from him. By the way, speaking of people giving him money, like, something really weird happened. There was a video game developer which wanted me to play his game, and he asked me, like, how much? And I said, look, I don't take money for sponsorships. I never did. And you know, I'm not doing that, and especially since I usually don't get to finish games on stream, and I have also a big bias against paying for reviews. Like, what the fuck is that? You know, like, if you pay someone to review your product, obviously they're going to be willing to give a more positive review because you paid them to do it, right? So I don't want to get into that. If I find a game that I like and it's really good, I'll review it. If not, you know, and I'll do it for free. Like, I'm not going to ask money. But, like, the question was like, are you saying you wouldn't do it? Like, what if I give you $1,000, and I'm thinking like, look, motherfucker, like, okay, fine, yeah, like that. Obviously, if you give me $1,000, I will review your shit. But the question is, wouldn't you be better giving those $1,000 to someone else, which can give you more exposure? Like the quartering or someone, like go to Arch, like go to someone that actually has a big platform if you're willing to spend that much. I never understand this, like the type of people like, oh, there's a price for everything. It's like, yes, there's a thing called a bad deal for everything. Like, why would you come to me and give me $1,000 so that, like when I play a video game on stream, I usually get like 50 people watching. Because, like, usually I get more people when I talk about stuff rather than when I play video games. So, like, imagine, like, going and you get, like, 50 people watching you review a game and you got $1,000 for that. I mean, that is the definition of a bad deal. I would feel bad taking money from that person. I had a bot write the essay for uni and I scored 88. Man, there was a bot that won an art competition recently, right? So an artist actually managed to use a bot in order to win an art competition. It's not that I hate money, it's that I don't want to scam people. I view it as a scam, like taking $1,000 from someone so you can play a game that only 50 people get to experience. I think it would be a scam. I don't like doing that. I'm not selling myself short. I know the market. Like with $1,000, you can probably get quartering to cover your game, and you have access to like hundreds of thousands of viewers. Like, why would you come to me? Take the $1,000 and just be sarcastic. Yeah, but like, why would I do that, man? Right? Like, clearly the guy is a fan. Why would I hurt my fans like that? It just doesn't make sense. And it's not that I'm above it, like if I were to have like 30,000 fans, yeah, sure, then you have a different mentality, but less is more sometimes. Like you care about people more. You will notice this with other content creators because it's human nature. It's not about the person. It's about like just the thing. Like when I guess like when you have so many people watching you, it just becomes a number. Because, like, right now, I can interact with the people from the chat. I know the names. Like, I recognize Gabriel. I recognize Meh. I recognize Gigi. Right? Like, I recognize a lot of you. And I can actually read what you guys are typing, even though I don't read it out loud on stream. But, like, I recognize the same. But when you have, like, a Gaur Gura, or you have a different content creator, right? Where the names go, like, right? Like, you get like this. Like, this is how the chat goes. There's no more interaction, right? Like, you don't... There is no way you can actually interact with your fans. So at this point, the fans are just a number. They just become, I guess, a concept, if you will. Like, they're there, but you can never interact with them. You can never, have this... I can't say, like, personal relationship, but, like, this... relationship between creator and fan, right? It's gone. So this is why big streamers, they don't really give a shit, because like they don't actually interact with the fans anymore because they can't. The number is too high, right? So when you have like hundreds of thousands of viewers, you can put a post on Twitter and you can talk with some of them, but it's not the same like when you're a small creator and you can actually know the people that are talking with you. After fees, they should put you closer to owning your house. Thank you, Friendly Fire. I appreciate it. I actually managed to pay half the mortgage. I'm really happy. Hopefully next year I can pay half more from what I owe, and then I can finally put this matter to rest. I never want to make a bank loan in my entire fucking life. It's so stressful. I don't know how many other people do it, right? It's just like, yeah. But it is what it is. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. V sounds like DSP. I don't know if I sound like DSP. I tried my best to explain, right, why big content creators don't really care about the fans the same way like little content creators do. And I believe the reason is that I can actually see you, D, in the chat. I can actually address your grievance, and I can consider what you said, right? And if I see you tomorrow, I remember that, oh, well, D is a recurring subscriber, I should be nice to him, right? Or I can be like, oh, D is a new guy, maybe I should give him some attention so that he feels welcome, right? But I can only do this because the chat is the way it is. Like, I can actually see the names, right? Like, the chat is moving slowly. But as I mentioned before, if the chat is going like this, how can you talk with people? Like, seriously, if the chat goes like this. And not only that, that is a thing that content creators experience that most users don't. And this is... How should I explain it? Because I don't want to be misinterpreted. Alright. When you get a chat window, right? And there's many people talking to you. Subconsciously, you're going to try and select the positive messages. I'm not ignoring you, Simon. Shut the fuck up. You're going to try to select the messages that agree with you, right? And if you have many people talking to you, it's very easy to do that. So you kind of fool yourself into the idea that you're a lot more important than you really are. Because you look at the chat and you just like pick the messages that are constantly agreeing with you. But if you have like fewer people talking to you, if you're a smaller subscriber, and you actually are saying something controversial or something that people don't agree, well then you can't really do that, because you're going to just look at the messages that are available, and if the messages that are available are negative, well, tough shit. There's no positivity to pick from there. I don't call this. Thank you for that. We're just peasants, V. You're a YouTuber. It's not like that, man. It's if you have 100,000 subscribers, not subscribers, sorry, viewers, right? So you're like Amaranth, you're like Hassan Piker. You consider yourself to be too big to fail. And you don't really care if you piss off 10,000 people, because at the end of the day, you have 90,000 more, right? So it's a different mentality. It's kind of like the same. Look, perfect example. Okay, you go to a mom and pop store, right? Now, the mom and pop store is going to treat you really well, because they don't have a lot of customers. They can't afford bad reputation. But then you go to Disney. Now, Disney is a massive corporation. They don't give a flying fuck about you. They don't give a single shit about you. Right? So that is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I managed to articulate it properly. I hope it came out the way I want. But what I want to say is that, yes, like smaller content creators, they care more about their viewers than big content creators. And I try to explain the psychology behind it. I try to give the reasoning on why this happens. It's not because, like, they're bad people, but it's simply due to the nature of the job that it becomes much more difficult to interact with your subscribers. Yeah, like H3H3. Like, H3H3 doesn't really care if he loses 1,000 or 2,000 people in a controversy, right? Like, because he's got tens of thousands. So he doesn't really give a shit. Now, if you go back in time, when H3H3 had only 1,000 people watching, well, he would care more, right? And if you go back in time when he would have only, like, 100 subs or 200 subs, you'd see that H3H3 would be very concerned with your opinions. Like, he would take them to heart, he would look at the criticism, he would analyze it, and he would really care, right? But now he doesn't. Now he can criticize H3H3 all day. Like, he's not going to change his mind. Like, he already knows what he wants to do, and he's going to do it. So that's how it works. Sam Hyde streams every time Hassan streams. Get the fuck out. That would be so fucking hilarious. Does Sam Hyde stream on Twitch, by the way? I'm really curious about it. Wait, is there the fight between Sam and Hassan taking place? Like, did he agree? Because I saw Hassan at Twitch harassing people that were asking him the question if he's going to fight. It's so fucking hilarious. Like, the whole shtick could have been over. Like, if I was Hassan Piker, I would have told Sam Hyde, look, I don't do cringe internet celebrity e-fights. I'm a serious political commentator. I don't do this shit for entertainment, but if you really want we can actually go and have a beer and we can do a stream and we can settle our differences and we can take the money we get and donate it to charity. Had Hassan did that, he would have came up like an actual adult, right? Like, if he would have done that, no one would have said anything. There would have been absolutely nothing that Hassan could be criticized with. Literally, all he had to do was to say, you know, like, I think internet e-celeb fights are cringe. It's not something that I want to do. It would take away from, you know, I'm actually trying to influence society and make a better world with my online activism, blah, 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 blah. Right? I think that if I were to step in the ring, it would take away from that. I'm not a comedian, right? I'm a intellectual. I'm a philosopher. I'm a thinker. I don't do comedy, but, you know, I'm willing, because Sam Hyde is a popular figure and, you know, I understand he has grievances with me. Let's just have a stream and donate that money to, I don't know, some transgender kids charity or whatever the fuck. No one would complain about that. You know, like, he would look like the adult in the room and Sam Hyde would look like the small guy. Oh, I got a person from Ukraine. How's the war effort going? V, I'm sorry for comparing you to DSP. You know, I used to watch DSP. I don't consider that as a negative. I mean, from a content creator point of view, why wouldn't I want to end up like DSP? DSP has so much fucking cash. It's unreal. He gets to play video games all day. And he's got a wife. Like, DSP, unironically, has his shit in order more so than any other person. Well, not than any other person, but more so than most people on the internet. Right? He's got a wife, he's got a family, he's got a house, and he plays video games. Now, sure, you can say, well, he's not a person that you would want to emulate his personality. Granted, I agree, you know. Very few people manage to maintain their dignity online. Like, when you're in the public spotlight, it's very difficult to maintain your dignity. So, I get that. But, unironically, like, I'm not making fun now, I'm just analyzing the situation. DSP is not the person that's really low on the ladder. Like, there are other people that are unemployed, unable to have a job, living still with their parents at the age of 30, right? And they're below DSP. So let's just put that out there. V is my favorite YouTuber. Take the small gift. Why, thank you, Max Dank. I really appreciate it. I love your avatar. Me versus Sargon in a fight. Sargon would just demolish me. Like, I seen him in real life. Sargon is incredibly bulk. Like, he's not very tall, but he's well built. And he's got, like, some really strong arms. I remember when Antifa tried to shut down an event of his, and there was, like, this little scrawny Antifa guy walking up to Sargon. And Sargon just grabbed him by his shirt. And I think, like, in that moment, that Antifa guy, you know, he saw his entire life just flying through his face. Like, he remembered when he was a kid playing with his little friends about communism and building the utopia all the way until the first woman refused to go out on a date with him. Like, his entire life was just flashing through his eyes. I mean, let me hold on. Let me see if I can find the picture so you can see what I'm talking about. I think there's a picture on it on the internet where here we go. Right, like this is the one, but it's kind of blurry, right? So it's a little bit blurry. You might not tell what is actually taking place, but when you look at it, like look at the size of Sargon's biceps, right? It's the size of this guy's head. Like, I saw the video. You know, this guy runs up to Sargon, tries to muscle him. And, like, Sargon just, like, grabs him by his shirt. That's it. Like, he doesn't punch him, doesn't move him, doesn't do anything. And you can see the horror in this guy's face. Like, immediately he realized the error of his ways. Like, he understood that he wasn't in a very good position. He realized that he's more like a range fighter rather than a melee expert, you know? Like, He understood that his role was that of support. Like, he should have stood in the back, throwing psychic damage by chanting slogans and shit. Definitely not melee, right? Like, definitely not melee range. Thank you, Lucius Cornelius, for the 5 CHFs. Yes, it is the event of capturing the flag. So, my point is, yeah, if I was to fight Sargon, I would get killed. I don't think I would survive the encounter. Like, even if it's a organized, you know, like, boxing match or something like that, like sporting event, I don't think I would survive. Like, I seen the man in real life. I went to the Lotus Eaters last month. Like, he does rock climbing, and I believe he does weightlifting. Like, he actually had weightlifts in the studio and stuff. Yeah, I don't think I can. There are other YouTubers that I may have a chance against. I think Mundane Matt, I think I could, like, I wouldn't be afraid. You know, if Mundane Matt wanted to have a match for charity or something, like, I would be like, yeah, you know, sure. I don't know if I will win or lose, but at least I'm not going to end up in a coma. And I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll take that. But Hassan Piker is also deadly. I'm thinking, like, you know, a lot of people that are strong are on the right. Like, right-wingers, like, we got Joe Rogan, we got, you know, even Alex Jones. Like, Alex Jones in a ring could hold his own. But when you look at the left, like, the left doesn't have that many. The left has Hassan Piker, Cenk Uygur. I mean, I think, like, they would be able to do some, to score some points in the ring. But other than that, it's not that many, are they? Anyway. If I could take Tim Pool is actually really tall. But I think I could take Tim Pool. Like, again, with Tim Pool, like, if he was to, like, hey, V, let's have a sporting match. You know, let's organize an event for charity. Yeah, I would go into the ring with Tim Pool because, I know that I would come out alive. Let's put it like that. And I might even win with Tim Pool. Me versus Vosh, yeah, same thing. Although I think Vosh is not in my weight category. I think... you know, like, the weight does matter, so Vosh might actually be in a different weight category than me. But it is what it is. I mean, I would still take it. Hassan is big but has no rotation. I don't care. Why do you think I have rotation? I could take them. Do we get prep time? Is this like an anime talk? You know, it's like V versus Tim Pool. Prep time or no prep time? I actually met Tim Pool in real life. I met Tim Pool at the Jubilee Park in London when we had the London meetup. And yeah, I mean, I don't remember if he was taller than me or not, but he's a really nice chap. I spoke with him, like, behind the camera. At least back then. I don't know right now, because, well, he's a millionaire. You know, that does a little bit to a person's ego. But, yeah, he was a really nice guy, and it's not very intimidating. But, you know who... Oh, holy shit. I remember, like, the guy which, like, really bewildered me. I forgot the name, the puppet guy. So he was, you know, a skeptic back in the day, MRA activist, would have puppets on his show. And he would also sing sometimes. I forgot his name. But, my fucking god, he was tall. Holy shit. Like, that guy, every time he had to go into a building, he had to lower his head. It was like fucking Andrew the Giant. The guy from Star Wars Theory can lift 600 pounds? Jesus. Speaking of publicly known people and fighting skill, I have insider info that Sam Hyde is on roids. I've not... The only thing that I know about Sam Hyde is that whenever there's a mass shooting or something, like, people beam, oh, let's see if we can get the media to claim that it's Sam Hyde. Yes, Dr. Randomer Cam. So, but anyway, like, besides Sam Hyde, I don't know anything about him. Like, I don't know what he does. I don't know, you know, his political takes. I don't know his channel. I don't even know if he streams on YouTube or Twitch. So, but yes, Dr. Randomercam. Dr. Randomercam is fucking massive, man. Like, he is so fucking tall. Like, every time he tries to go into a building, he's got to lower his head. I don't know about Styx. I've never met him. But he sounds tall as well. I wouldn't be afraid of doing a sporting event with Styx. Right? Like, again, if it was something for charity, I would do that. Tim Pool would absolutely wreck Hassan. Tim is a muscle-coordinated guy. This is like an anime talk now. Tim Pool is a skateboarder. Yeah, but the thing with... Because here's the thing, right? Like, if you're asking me, would I fight someone? In a professional environment. My question is, like, can I get alive? Can I get out alive? You know, like, that's the only thing that I want to know, right? Because, like, if you put me against Joe Rogan, well, can I get out alive? The answer is no. So I won't take it, you know? Like, the first concern is my health. You know, will I get any lasting damage? Will I get brain trauma or some shit? And if we get past that, then I don't care if I win or lose, right? I would just train for, like, a couple of months. I would get a personal trainer. I would try to train so that I get in shape. And then I would go there, and whether I win or lose, it doesn't matter. I would make money for the charity. I would have the trip all the way there. I would shake hands with a couple of fans, and that's it. But I wouldn't, you know, like, be like, oh my god, well, I can't go there because I'm going to lose. That's not the way I would think about it. It's just like, will I survive the encounter? That's the only question. Like, if you put me against Alex Jones, then the answer is no. I would probably not survive the encounter. As such, nobody in the world would convince me to partake into that event. V versus Shapiro or V versus Nick? I think I can take both, actually. So, yeah. Temple versus Nimbus. I don't know who Nimbus is. I like these anime fights. Like, every year they happen. And they usually happen around this time. I don't know why. I think it's, the time, like, YouTubers usually, like, schedule fights 1 month or 2 months prior to this, right? And then people start talking after the fight. It's interesting, because, like, most YouTubers who schedule fights end up not showing. Like, what happened with Boogie? Wasn't Boogie supposed to fight someone? Did he drop out? Is it still going to happen? I think I would dominate Kibbs. That's no question. I haven't seen Kibbs, but I heard stories. And I don't think I would have a problem. Was it V who said he would get winded from climbing a flight of stairs? That's before I lost weight. Like, I actually got in shape after that. But the thing is, you end up working out, and, you know, if you have prep, like, in 2 months, you can get in shape. Right? Like, in 2 months, if you actually go on a diet, and you actually care about this thing, and you get a professional trainer and whatnot, yeah, you can get in pretty good shape. Boogie versus Ralph, and Boogie won fight. But when is the event scheduled? Like, when did they decide to have at it? Because I haven't followed it. So, yeah. Yeah, I did pay a dietist, I gotta say. It was one of the most difficult experiences of my life. Going on a diet. But on a strict diet, not just any diet, right? So, it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to go make the videos for my main channel now. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the donations. And hopefully, I will see you guys tomorrow.